Hi, welcome to Colleagues Getting Coffee. Today we're talking about sanding.
Okay. Integral part of business.
It is. Welcome to Colleagues Getting Coffee. My name's Annelies James, and today I am joined by Matt from Wise Old Uncle Ltd. Limited.
Yeah.
Wise Old Uncle.
Or just Wise Old Uncle.
Why Wise Old Uncle?
Okay, so it rolls off the tongue.
It does.
Now I've got two young children. I mean, there's a version of the story that is for public, which is I like the avuncular thing of your uncle. You can trust your uncle.
Okay, yeah.
And I always like the ad agency mother. You know, so Wise Old Uncle.
Huh?
But the real reason is there's a children's TV show called Ben and Holly's Magic Kingdom, and there's a character on it called the Wise Old Elf, and I got two small kids, and we watched a lot of Ben and Holly's Magic Kingdom.
I love it.
So I took it off that.
It's good. It's a good story.
Yeah.
I like it. So, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me along.
No worries. I think you're enjoying your tea there.
Oh, it's a lovely cup of tea.
This should be called Colleagues Getting Tea.
I know. I did wonder whether or not I should go for coffee.
It's not a stipulation that you have to have coffee. No, you hate coffee. I actually hate coffee. So, okay. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. What you do.
What do I do?
Wide open question. There you go.
Yeah. So I work in marketing.
Okay.
I guess I'm a brand strategist.
Nice. Fancy title.
Yeah. It's a catch-all title. It means I can do pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. But I tend to work with creative agencies and small businesses and some larger organisations. Okay. Helping them understand their brand from a wider perspective, so understand their positioning, what their messaging should be, and what their strategy should be for how they communicate with an audience.
I like it. Nice. And you're based in Bournemouth?
Yeah.
There's a big digital movement in Bournemouth. There has been for quite some time.
Yeah.
But why? Why is Bournemouth so good at digital?
Why are people so surprised?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bournemouth is this tiny little place, right? But the combined population of Bournemouth, Poole and Christchurch, the urban conurbation of southeast Dorset, it's 400,000 people. It's tiny comparatively to say Bristol or Portsmouth.
Yeah.
But in that small concentrated place, you have got over 400 creative agencies. You've got 2 universities, world-class universities.
And they have a bit of a focus on digital media creative, don't they? Bournemouth University.
Well, Arts University is purely creative. Bournemouth University, they do archaeology and sport and hospitality, but they've got the media school and the National Centre for Computer Animation. So they're quite, they are one of the BBC's biggest feeders for video production. There's a film school there, so there's a high concentration of creativity in the place. And then actually, if you go back a couple of decades, Bournemouth and Poole and that surrounding area was big for software in the 80s. So Siemens are based there, JP Morgan have got their largest European technology base there. So there's just a lot of creative and digital and technical stuff going on there.
So talking about sort of networking, community, that sort of thing, you've run a couple of different things, been involved in a couple of different things, so open source and Silicon Beach.
Yeah.
What are these? Tell me about them.
So Silicon Beach was, I've pressed pause on it for the time being. I've not stopped it, I've pressed pause. Silicon Beach was a 2 days ideas festival. It was a single stream conference with 20 plus speakers, just really interesting people talking about really interesting things. And we had an audience of 200 people for those 2 days, and we generated a global audience of about 5 million.
That's really good.
And so I kept that going for 8 years. and it was networking.
Yeah.
You know, people thought they were coming for the speakers, but when you've got 2 days and 20 speakers, you're not going to remember the majority of that.
So it all becomes a bit of a blur, doesn't
exactly.
it?
You know, at the end of 2 days, you'll remember 1, 2, 3 snippets.
Yeah. It's like the key points, and all you do is bang on about it on LinkedIn. Then you're like, I saw this amazing speaker. They spoke for 20 minutes, but I remember this one thing they said.
and when you got 20 of them, you know, that's even so. So actually, what happened was those 200 people in that room for those 2 days got to know one another, and they've got a shared reason for being there. They're all come to see these speakers. They've got that shared experience. They're stuck in a dark room for 2 days. It creates a level of intimacy, and that level of intimacy just breeds a good positive feeling.
There needs to be so much more of that in business, I think, because I find that networking is so surface level. I keep saying to people, cats and Christmas, because people are like, I need to go and make an impression on this person as a person, not talk about my business. So I'll talk about cats and I'll talk about Christmas, and actually you don't really get that real connection with the person.
I used to. I worked at Arts University for 6 years, and one of the things that I did there was each year with the graduating class or some of the graduating students, I would speak to them about what you're going to do next, where are you going to go, and I'd run a little workshop on networking. And the key thing, or the two key things, be interested and be interesting.
Yeah, true.
Right? So listen, look at someone when you're talking to them and go, oh, that sounds interesting. Oh, tell me more. And then if they ask you a question, don't have a monosyllabic answer. Engage them and talk. Be interesting. Make just as you want to ask them questions, make them want to ask you questions.
Well, it's always like this. The elevator pitch is like people go on about elevator pitches all the time. I'd rather have a really rubbish elevator pitch, but actually be able to talk to people at a grassroots level about real stuff, than someone say, "What do you do?" and I say, "I'm Annelies James," and da da da. You know.
Well, I mean, so you asked me that question. What is it you do? And but there was a pause. And I went, "I'm a brand strategist, I guess."
But it seems authentic when you're talking.
And it is, and it's what I do, and I run workshops in it, and I do a lot of it. But there was a talk at one of the Silicon Beach conferences, 2nd or 3rd year, this guy called John Wilshire. He's this brilliant, innovative strategist, but he does lots of things. He's an independent, he works on his own, he works in collaboration with lots of other people, and he said he found it really difficult to talk about that. So his response to that question is, I'll tell you the last thing I did, I'll tell you the thing I'm doing now, and I'll tell you the thing I'm about to do.
Oh, nice.
And that was how he introduced what he did.
Yeah, that's good. So open source, different from
Open source was different from Silicon Beach. Open source was the antidote to networking.
Okay.
Right, it was the antidote to that painful cats and Christmas small talk. So the idea, and I did it in collaboration with 2 other guys, with George Beverly and Giles Vincent, and the 3 of us were there thinking, we want to go to these events and we want to meet other interesting business people, and that's how business is done, that's how we'll get our next set of clients. But going to a networking event is kind of painful. You've got that terrible small talk. So how could we change that? So our idea was we would invite 5 people to come and do a talk, and that would give the audience the thing to talk about. There's your shared experience. The audience have all been here, we've all shared that experience. Now that's how I'll start my conversation. I will go and speak to so and so and say, what did you think of that last speaker? So the talks that we did at Open Source were all 6 minutes and 40 seconds long.
This is...
No, don't say it, it's trademarked.
Oh. Chit chat. I'll say the English version. English version, chit chat.
Yeah, so the Japanese version is trademarked.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we didn't do that. We did a very similar format.
Okay, I see.
20
and
slides.
It's basically 20 slides, images,
20 slides, 20 seconds a slide, the slides change automatically. The lovely thing with that format is 20 seconds is either a lot longer than you think or it's a lot shorter than you think. So immediately the audience are on your side. They are either laughing along because you're busy trying to catch up with yourselves, or they're going, oh God, oh there's another really awkward silence, oh God. So and it created an atmosphere that made people want to stick around. The first one we did, 240 people turned up to this thing, and the bar was open till 1 o'clock in the morning, and this was a business networking event with people still there at midnight. I
do have to say though, if you do add booze to networking, it does get better. It just takes a small glass of Prosecco or a beer.
Unfortunately, I can't stop at a small glass of Prosecco.
What about a small bottle? Or 10 bottles?
So we, i.e. my colleagues, told me perhaps you shouldn't drink at the next one, Matt.
Oh no. That's the conversation starter for the next network. Do you remember when Matt?
The whole conversation thing was about just how drunk did Matt get at his own event.
Oh my God. That's the thing is though, when it's your own event, it's super stressful.
No, not really.
Do you not think?
No.
Oh, I find it like tense. The pressure's on. People are expecting something.
No, because the thing is, you know what's supposed to be happening.
Yes, that's
Your
true.
audience have no idea.
Yeah.
So rather like that graceful swan, they think, oh, here you go.
This is just what's
supposed to be happening.
It's actually funny because I'm a qualified teacher, and I always felt like teaching was like a magic trick, because I would go in and say, these are the objectives today, guys, and then do the lesson, and at the end I'd sort of pull a rabbit out of a hat and be like, ta-da! And they were always like, I learnt the thing you said I would, and I thought, oh my God.
So I run these workshops with businesses, and it's about them understanding their positioning, their messaging, who their audience is, where their audience is. But when we started, I did one with or myself and George. We ran this event, a workshop with Crowdfunder.
Okay.
So the UK's largest crowdfunding platform, and we went down to Newquay to do it with them, and we got them drawing cartoons.
Nice.
Like, here you go, you've got 4 panels. Describe what you do in pictures with no words as a cartoon strip.
Oh, I want to do this right now.
Oh, well, yeah, we had the chairman of the company just like, oh, I don't like this. What is this? This is a waste of my time. No, look, there's method to the madness. It's going to appear like a rabbit out of the hat at the end. It's like, oh, okay, that's why we did all of that. And there's got to be a level of trust.
Yeah,
so they have to trust you as a workshop facilitator.
Yeah.
So you just got to be in and come in and confident. No, it's supposed to be happening like this.
Okay, so with all these in mind, all these activities you've been involved with, networking, organising multiple events, working on strategy, what would you say are your 3 unbreakable business ethics?
You've got to like the person, right? Chemistry. Yeah. So that for me, that's the number one.
Okay.
Right? Because if for whatever reason there is a friction, a tension, you're not going to get the best out of me, and I'm not going to deliver the best project for you. So recognising that and having an exit.
But that's quite brave. That's quite a strong thing to do. If you're
especially when you're a sole trader and you're working on your own and you've got a mortgage to pay.
Yes.
You're like, but
actually sometimes when you make that choice for yourself, you open that door to another opportunity or something different, you refocus. And
I want to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I mean, so that would be my next ethic.
Yeah.
Is it's not I will happily work with a pharmaceutical company. I would happily work in the oil and gas industry. I might draw the line at guns and warfare. Well, actually no, because I've just put a pitch in for the MOD. So no, none of those are off bounds.
Okay, yeah.
But I do want to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah. So
there has to be a personal moral code that you're willing to stick to, but it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So it's if I do this, will I sleep at night? And so I guess the other one is just don't do it for the money.
Yeah, and I think that's a difficult thing for startups especially, you maybe start making decisions that you think, oh, I wouldn't normally say yes to this, but I desperately need the money, I need to pay the mortgage or whatever. And then you end up down a rabbit hole, sort of slightly lost to what you were started for. Like, you follow the money, and actually you shouldn't follow the money. You should keep your boat going in a direction and have faith that it will land on Money Island.
And it's Money Island. Oh, I wish I had a map to find Money Island.
I can give you the map.
I've worked out that I need one client a month. You know, I've planned what my charges are and the thing that I do, that actually I can do it on one client a month, which means I only need 12 clients a year. But actually, a lot of those clients I'll work with for a month, and then 6 months later I'll come back and work with them again. So really, I need 6 clients a month. If I can't walk out of my front door and find 6 clients, I should probably get a job somewhere else.
Yeah, it's true.
I probably shouldn't be working for myself.
But also, what you actually deliver to people is kind of marketing, brand, etc. You know where to find your audience because you specialise in marketing. You know the sorts of people that you want to work with because you help other people to also understand.
And you do it proactively. You know, business development needs to be proactive. I can SEO a website. Well, I can't SEO a website, and I don't have a website. I should have a website.
Do you not have a website?
Well,
do you know, this is an interesting debate. Actually, I'd like to talk about this very briefly. I've been having a debate about whether you need a website or not. Because, not you specifically, people. Because it's like a shop window. People don't go to the shop every day, do they? It exists there so people can find you. But how much do people actually interact with websites? Is your social presence more important?
I think your social presence is incredibly important.
I think so.
Particularly if you're an independent. Actually, if you're a small agency, if you're a small business, your presence is important, and across multiple channels. However, I think it is important to have a website, albeit I don't have a website. I don't have a website. There is one. It's been designed.
Okay.
There's a guy ready to build it, just waiting on me to write the content.
I see.
Been waiting for about 9 months now.
Well, if you need a content writer, I know someone who's brilliant. I'm actually not talking about myself either.
I'm halfway there. There's always something better. But I think it's important to have that website because...
Well, it's win a client or write the content for your website. And when a client says, oh, hi, can you help me? And you're like, sorry.
Well, I think it's the fact that I've not had a website for about 7 years.
Like, where's the value? I've already done
I'll get to it eventually, but I would really like it, and it's a beautiful looking site that's been designed.
Oh, nice.
But there's this guy in Bournemouth called Mark Masters who runs a monthly lunch club called You Are the Media.
Okay.
And he launched his conference earlier this year in May, and his whole point is about owning your space, right? And he's the one saying we can use platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn, but they're other people's websites. You're directing traffic to other people's websites.
I was thinking this exact same thing when I was following a van the other day, a decorating van, and I thought, why do the vans always have a Facebook and a Twitter logo on them? Everybody pretty much in the world has a Facebook or a Twitter. So what we're doing is we're just promoting the company. And I thought, oh my God, I've not thought about that before.
Yes, you want them to come to your website. So all the good stuff should be on your website. Now, I think, but that doesn't take away from the fact that things like LinkedIn and putting regular content on LinkedIn and having a particular voice there and something on Twitter, perhaps less so Facebook. You know, it's important to be out there and seen out there and on other people's websites like yours. So I'm doing this video. I'm going to be on your site. You are. But that's okay, and eventually it'll be on my site. So I think it's important to have that space. Okay, right. So, what are you working on right now? I'm hitting the road in October and November, September, October, November, and I'm speaking at Like Minds in Exeter. the Festival of Marketing in London, and All Web in Macedonia.
Oh wow, how random, I love it. Wise Old Uncle on tour.
Wise Old Uncle on tour.
I love it. Last thing then, one single piece of business advice.
My business motto, my life motto, in fact it's my life motto since I was 17.
Yeah.
If it's funny, do it.
I love it.
It gets me into a lot of trouble, but it also gets me doing some really exciting and interesting things, and it keeps me entertained and engaged. It keeps me interested day to day in what I'm doing.
And it keeps the old grey matter on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're very welcome.
And we'll share some bits and bobs in the comments.
Okay, yeah.
So people can find more information about you. Twitter, LinkedIn, no website. Don't worry about that bit.
I mean, there is a website. You can go to wiseolduncle.com and there is something there.
Oh, okay. We have a page. We have a page online.
It's a Tumblr site.
Okay, Wise Old Uncle. I'm going to
wiseolduncle.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.